since you've been open about your conservative political views, did that hurt or help your career at all, like in Hollywood?
Oh, it killed it.
Industry? Yeah.
And then it revived it. And now it's just on a different trajectory. Like, so I got a divorce from Disney. We're no longer married. They've made it very clear that we will not be in business together, but we do have a child that we love. Good luck, Charlie. It is a great show that, we both love and respect, and I loved working for them back in the day. It was great. But I'm not going to sit aside and let the World Economic Forum overtake this generation on my watch. I'm just not going to do it.
How many people would you say are in the entertainment industry that are secretly conservative or even like Trump supporters who just won't say anything about it?
A ton. And there are a lot also who push the vaccine and push the narrative even though they don't believe in it and didn't take it themselves. It's all a big giant scam. It was a money-making opportunity. So
do you feel like maybe those people have FOMO these days with what everything that happened in 2024, we're living in history. The craziest things that have ever happened this year. Do you think that people that have just decided to stay silent while everyone else is engaged and living throughout history, do they have FOMO? Like, what's their reaction like privately?
Sure. Now I think that people are starting to come out because of the fear of missing out, right? They're like, oh, wait, but now they're standing up. Oh, now the tide is turning. Oh, now people are catching on. Oh, now the truth is coming out. Yeah, the truth is coming out because it always does. And that's the side of history you chose. So if you want to walk over to the side, hey, I won't condemn you. I'll welcome you with open arms. Come join the battle. But we need to keep our freedoms because it was this close to being completely taken away.
Speaking of that, do you think that cancel culture or wokeism, do you believe that's dead now? Or
yeah,
how do you see that going?
Don't believe, so that's what I'm speaking on tomorrow is cancel culture. I don't believe that cancel culture is even a thing. Right? They want you to think that it's a thing because that is the Marxist purpose of a cancel culture. It's to put so much social pressure on you that you shut up and quietly go away. And then like any stupid bully, once you won't shut up, then they back down and eventually the truth will always come out. I just knew that the Hollywood meeting place that kicked me out can kiss my rear. I'm not playing those games. I mean, we all know what kind of games they play. Most of them were on a casting couch or at Diddy's parties. I just don't go to those parties. That's not how I live my life. So I knew that I wanted to be on the right side of history no matter what. I believe it is your right to choose what medical product you want to go in your body or not. I believe it is your right to choose if you want to go to this school or to that school. I believe it is your right to choose your sexuality. I believe that everyone must have their freedom of religion because if you don't have your freedom, then I don't have mine.
Yeah.
And there has to be freedom of speech. If there is, I will fight for the people that don't agree with me to be able to speak up. We must have opposition in order to have accountability. How will we ever know the other side of a narrative? We'll just be force-fed propaganda till we choke on it. I mean, it's very imperative that people stand up and speak what they know, and then time will tell if it's the truth or not.
But it has to be exhausting, to keep kind of like having this faux outrage over everything. Everyone's clutching their pearls over comedians or over whatever they're freaking out about. Do you think that at some point they're going to give up on all that?
I hope so. I mean, America, if you kill comedy, it's over. Like, it makes me so sad. If we can't laugh at ourselves, then who can we laugh at? I'm not saying be cruel and mean to people, but like, we've got to learn to laugh at ourselves. This generation has been indoctrinated that everything is so serious that if someone hurts your feelings, they belong in jail. That is crazy talk. I mean, when I was younger and we would go to vote, I would go with someone who voted totally different than me. In fact, at that time, I was like a big Democrat, and I would go to vote with someone who's a Republican and vote totally different than me, and we'd go have a salad and a beer afterwards. Nobody wanted to kill anyone because they were supporting a legally nominated candidate. It's absolutely ridiculous.
What kind of shifts do you think have transpired that drove Trump to victory? Where do you see the trajectory of the country going?
People finally, they pushed the woke envelope so much that people finally realized, oh, this is absolutely crazy talk. Like, we're talking grooming children. We're talking giving puberty blockers, chemical castration to children. Did you know that they deemed chemical castration too inhumane to give prison inmates who had raped children, but yet they're going to give it to children? I mean, it's so abundantly clear that the pharmaceutical industry is the most corrupt industry in the history of the world, that people are finally waking up to it. Unfortunately, it took a lot of precious, sweet, innocent teenagers and kids getting myocarditis for people to wake up to this. But here we are.
So tomorrow you're speaking at AmericaFest.
Yes.
And what is your message? Like, what are you going to talk on tomorrow?
Tomorrow I am speaking on cancel culture. And I am teaching these kids exactly how you brave up and stand up to it. I mean, this is no longer a time to concede your life to someone else because they are trying to wish you out of existence. Like, it's not a real thing. After I was canceled, I woke up the next day and I existed, and my entire history was still there. It's don't give them the power. It's not a real thing. It's just you have a choice. You know, pressure can either burst a pipe or it can make a diamond, but you get to decide which that's going to be.
What's next for you?
So next, I'm writing a book for adults and young adults. I wrote a children's book that was recently published, and about being brave and using your voice. Even if you're just one small little voice, don't be afraid to be the first to speak out, because then many will join and follow. That it takes one voice, and yeah, you may take some hits, and yeah, standing up for the truth is not easy. It's sometimes really hard. I paid a really big price, but now the tide is turning. Now I just wrote a movie that's selling. I never would have gotten into writing and producing had I just been satisfied sitting around making other people's lines sound good as an actor. But after being canceled, I realized, oh, there's a new path for me. Things will come around. I was not canceled. I was just redirected.
What was the cancellation? Was it like for being
Well, it happened a
conservative?
couple times. The first time is I told Joe Biden that masks were not law, and so that garnered immediate. That's like, you don't say that. That's immediate cancellation. And then that also, to the woke mob, that has a penalty of like death. They wanted to kill me. And so the next time that I was canceled, I'm pretty sure was when I spoke out at the school board meeting saying that a school board doesn't legally have the right to mask children and force vaccinate them. Again, the truth that came with a cancellation and a death penalty by the woke mob. And now the woke mob is actually waking up themselves and realizing, oh, she doesn't have crazy ideas, and she kind of just agrees with all of our freedoms, and maybe she's pretty human after all.
Yeah, at some point they realize when they start eating their own, they start coming after them, you know?
That's right. There was a girl when I spoke at Baylor University, the opposition, I would say, that came to hear my speech, and she titled her speech, Keep Your Enemies Closer. And what she said was that hearing her speak, she's not evil at all. They've conditioned us to think that the other side is so evil, and what I learned is that we all have so much more in common than we think. That there's this major ground of commonality that they're not letting us see, because you have to divide people in order to conquer them. I want to unite us so that we're unconquerable. And so she's left saying, I will never believe a 20-second slanted TikTok video over a human being ever again.
And that was someone that attended your speech at Baylor, you said? Yeah. Like as a protester, and she just totally changed her mind when she saw you speaking?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's crazy what the little snippets and what propaganda TikTok videos will do.
Yeah, that's right.